I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Shut up and take my money!
Greetings, fellow mortals. Just a reminder, saying it's just my opinion is for cowards. Seriously, the internet is not a real place. Calm down. One thing that absolutely amuses me at all times is when people defend a piece of art or entertainment as though their life depends on it. And this isn't just on the internet. I've seen it in real life too, where someone can't admit that something isn't perfect. Hell, I've been there myself. My wife does not like The Truman Show nearly as much as me. She questioned the logic, legality, and themes behind the movie, pointing out how they could possibly be better. All things that I never considered before, and at first I would not hear it. But then I learned a lesson. Criticizing art isn't a direct attack on anyone that likes the art. It's just pointing out how things could be better. Here, let me go ahead and start with my favorite things. Better Call Saul is a slow burn that I can see people losing interest in. Persona doesn't juggle its social link stories and game plot all that well to keep a consistent tone. The ending battles for Infinite Wealth weren't as impactful as I wanted, and the DLC nonsense was atrocious. The Glory requires you to understand more about Korean culture than most newcomers to K-dramas would know. The Shining movie isn't faithful to the book at all. The first Law books are really depressing. One Piece's absurd designs can ruin emotional scenes, and so on and so forth. I could go on and on about flaws in my favorite things. It doesn't mean that they're all not 10 out of 10s for me, but I can realize that there are flaws in art, and those flaws actually make art a little bit better for me because it shows the humanity behind it all. No human is perfect, so our art should be flawed as well.
This isn't a sculpture. A good sculpture takes more time.
The reason that this topic came to my mind is because of Nakey Jakey. He came out with another Red Dead Redemption 2 video, and you know what? I agree with both videos. Red Dead 2 is a great game that I wish I could erase from my mind so that I could play it again, because that's the only way I would ever be able to do an entire playthrough again. My God, discovering the world, interacting with the cast, seeing Arthur's journey, it's an unparalleled experience, but my God, can it be rough to play. Everything feels slower and more tedious than the original. The surprise of looking around the next corner kept me going through all the overly drawn out BS and on-rail story sections. It has a perfect world, but why do I have to watch the bathing animations all the damn time? Even Kingdom Come Deliverance just cut away real quick because it knew that watching bathing in a game is ridiculous. And there's other things that I didn't mention, like Naruto. And there's other things that I could mention. And there's other things that I like that I could mention that I haven't yet. The writing for Naruto is pretty bad with women. It's atrocious, in fact, just terrible. A lot of the comedy in The Office is too cringy for me to enjoy sometimes. I just can't watch it without feeling embarrassed for other people. Baldur's Gate 3 is such a thinking game that I can't enjoy it sometimes because I want to turn my brain off. I like listening to stuff and playing games at the same time. Star Wars' morality makes no sense whatsoever. Either you're an incel monk with no feelings or you're just pure evil. Star Trek has some really dull episodes out there. Harry Potter has no personality as a character. And all of you just like Game of Thrones because you're watching it with at least one hand occupied. Same thing with Stellar Blade.
I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that. I shouldn't have said that.
Everything that I just said is true. They're real criticisms, but they could also be features for other people. Maybe you like the over-sexualization in things, like with Game of Thrones and in Stellar Blade. The more the better for you, and I hope you enjoy that. Maybe you like the black and white morality to the completely absurd degree in Star Wars. You don't want to think about what's right and wrong. Maybe you care about the journey way more than the conclusion in different stories, so a bad ending doesn't hurt you. One one person's criticism is another person's feature. There just needs to be a level of self-awareness with criticism. It's why I like that Nakey Jakey came out with a positive video about Red Dead 2 without erasing his original criticisms. He still agreed with everything that he just said. You have to take the bad with the good. Living with the boring parts of Arthur's life might make you more attached to him, and Rockstar's on-rail strategy makes it so that you're seeing and feeling what you're supposed to in every scene. Humans are all so different. You can get 20 people in a line looking at the same thing, and you'll get 25 different opinions because 5 random people will shove themselves into the situation to force their opinions on you. And this can be a good thing. If everyone was too similar, life would be very, very boring. It's why I like to listen to a wide range of reviewers. It's interesting to see different interpretations of the same exact thing, especially on controversial topics.
Oh shit, here we go again.
I like listening to people like Skill Up or Angry Joe or Jeremy Johns, even though I don't particularly agree a lot with them. I feel it broadens my ability to think and to look at art in different ways, whether it be books, movies, shows, games. Hell, one of my favorite things to do is to put Hassan Piker and Ben Shapiro back to back and compare what they say about the exact same thing, because it is hilarious. It's why Barbie was probably one of my favorite experiences last year, just because of all the amusement and entertainment I got from people talking about it. You could get every view under the sun, and it really broadens my horizons to think about how others see things. I love the controversies that came out with Barbie and Stellar Blade, 2 pieces of entertainment that are completely different with 2 completely different audiences, although I do think that the lesbians will like both. It's okay to have a different opinion. Maybe you think that Barbie is anti-male. I wouldn't say that, it's just very pro-female. It's a movie by women for women to complain about how hard it is being a woman, and that's okay to exist. And Stellar Blade is a game made by technically both men and women that is designed specifically for men, and the hatred for it is just like with what happened with Bayonetta and B2. I lived through both of those. Calm down, it's fine. You can think it's cringy, you can think that it's great, but either way, just be aware that they're using obvious sex appeal to sell the product, because sex always sells and it always will. All of these different viewpoints are allowed. The problem arises when someone wants to destroy or censor the art.
Boo! Boo when you taste a burger, boo!
As long as something isn't a crime with a real victim, I don't particularly care about what's in an art. I might not enjoy it, but it is allowed. Add lollies, fan service, political messaging, pro-LGBT stuff, hell, anti-LGBT stuff. I think that you're stupid. I criticize the hell out of it for being moronic, but censorship is never an option. That's a problem with criticism right now. People seem to take criticism as a call for something not to exist, both from people existing and from the defenders. Mentioning that Rise of Skywalker is a mess in every way possible doesn't mean that I don't want it to exist. I don't want it erased. It's obviously corporate mandated slop, but it has a right to exist. Sucking isn't a crime. This could all very well be a result of the internet. Everyone has the urge to make the absolute language. This could all be just a result of the internet. Everyone has to use the most absolute language possible. This show is the worst. This movie is perfect. You're an idiot if you like this. We've trained ourselves to see things in black and white. If someone doesn't like some aspect of something that you like, they must hate you. They must be attacking you personally. No, this mindset is terrible. Nothing is flawless. Pointing out things which might be a problem can be a good thing. It leads to improvement and innovation, making possible sequels and future projects better. Or instead we could just ignore the bad things in Red Dead 2 so that we have to watch all of the main characters bathe all the time in GTA 6. Oh my god.
Walk out the door, you see someone that you know and they ask you how you are, and you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Think of it like coaching. A player criticizes their athletes so that the players can improve. They want the athletes to get better. That's the same thing with art. Oh, hey, there's a water bottle in this scene of Game of Thrones. I'm telling you this because it's a mistake that you should fix. Oh, hey, this weapon disappeared in the middle of the fight. Maybe you should fix that. Oh, hey, you completely dropped this plot point, leaving me very confused. All things that could very much help artists improve their creations. So even if you love something, accept criticism for it. Feedback can make the next piece of entertainment even better, unless it's completely invalid and stupid. Something like, oh, Arthur Morgan is a boring character. Miles Morales can never be interesting. Lightsabers aren't cool. That person is obviously wrong for saying that. They just have an incorrect opinion. And I say that as someone that isn't a Star Wars fan. Lightsabers are objectively pretty awesome. Some people are just haters looking for attention, but most criticism doesn't come from them. Accept critics as a way to improve, because if everything remains the same, it's actually dying. Have you ever seen stagnant water? It's pretty nasty stuff. You're welcome to disagree with all this. That's fine. After all, everyone is entitled to their objectively wrong opinion.
So thank you and curse you.
And hey, do you like stories about an interconnected world? Then consider giving my LPCO books a try. They are all connected in some way, but you can jump in at any point, unless it's a series. Then you have to start at the beginning. But I got 3 books out right now and 3 coming next year. You will not have to wait long for content. Either way, thank you. I appreciate you. Do not despair.